we're here. Come on, everyone, get in the truck.
In response to questions about civilian death tolls, Israeli officials stated that they regret the deaths, but that, quote, to be clear, these are Hezbollah casualties, as Hezbollah is using civilians as human shields against the attack, end quote.
We're here, finally!
Yes, we're here. We're really going to be safe now.
Oh.
Come on, let's get our stuff.
Well, let's go to sleep. We've had a long day.
July 31st, 5 days ago, Kana, Lebanon, 1 a.m. They wrote the names of the dead children on the plastic shrouds. Mehdi Hashem, age 7. Hussein al-Mohammed, age 12. Abbas al-Shahu, aged 1, Kana. When they ran out of plastic sheets, they wrapped the small corpses in carpets. Their hair was matted with dust. Most had blood running from their noses.
Good morning. It's going to be another hot day here in New York. Stay tuned for tips on how to stay cool. In other news, after nearly 3 weeks of fighting, approximately 900 people, mostly civilians, have been killed by the Israeli Defense Force. Aid agencies have warned of difficulties in delivering supplies to the hundreds of thousands of people displaced by the fighting. 4 bridges on the main coastal highway north from Beirut were destroyed yesterday. Earlier this week, the Israeli Security Cabinet unanimously approved widening Israel's ground offensive in Lebanon. That's all the time we have for today. Be sure to stay tuned for traffic reports. Thanks for stopping by.
I mean, the policy of most people in the Middle East, most Arab countries in the Middle East, is to kill all Jews, just drive them. These guys, when the Hezbollah launch their rockets and do whatever they do it out of civilian homes, out of civilian installations.
They can't do it out of civilian homes. They have to do it from an open...
And Israelis, it makes perfect sense. Okay, the rocket came from this spot here. We're going to bomb the snot out of that place.
It's a question of defense. You have Israeli friends, people who served in the military, who live there, and do feel a genuine threat. For me, it becomes an issue of when defense becomes offense.
Back to the old Israel.
They did not. And in fact, since then, after all the Oslo Accords in 1991-93, if you look at the Palestinian maps from 1948 to 1967 to 1982, you see that they've lost 2/3 of the area that used to be Palestine, which is now Israel.
And when civilians become branded as terrorists, and so you have scores of civilians being killed and then kind of being explained away as like we're just defending ourselves. And so
it spends more money on the military than all other nations put together, and we've brought no peace for ourselves. We've brought more misery. This war between Israel and Lebanon is buying us more enemies than we ever had 2 weeks ago.
I think the
more
enemies
people
are always
hate
there.
us now.
It's that logic. You were talking about everybody wants to get rid of Israel.
Yes.
The logic is, what would be safe then? Are you going to wipe out every Arab country? You know, like how far are you going to go
What
out?
happened to this country since 9/11?
Ask any randomly people here if they feel that our great adventure in Iraq, which is costing $1 billion every 5 days, a war that clearly is being lost and can never be won.
See, I disagree.
Even the general. Well, you can disagree, but every general who spoke on TV last week said this war is a sinkhole. These are the heads of the military.
all we want, and I'm speaking for the Jewish people in Israel, saying all we want is to be left alone. Do not Palestinians, Lebanese, people in surrounding areas that are, in my opinion, under siege, have the right to say the same thing and say, okay, fair enough, leave us off our land, no military occupation. Let's go back to reasonable borders that we can hopefully agree on somewhere, and not leave and leave each other alone. Of course, I think we'd all love to see that. But does Israel have a primary? Can they claim this right alone? I mean, I think everyone has the right has that right to say, let me live in peace, and leave me alone. But it has to be universal.
The nature of the world is power rules.
That's exactly what Hezbollah says as well. That, you know, if there's war, innocent Israelis have to die in it. That's their line as well.
And with this logic, there's never a peace.
Correct.